Dear listeners, we had a few technical difficulties during the recording of this podcast. So when you hear some shifts in regular recording versus Zoom recording, thank you for your patience. As you know, in the times of the pandemic, things just happen. So please thank you for your patience, and let's get on with the show.
Hi, I'm Ray.
And I'm Veronica.
And welcome to the Chick Lit Book Club podcast,
where we read a romance novel and then we talk about it. Today, we're talking about Adulting by Liz Talley.
Hello, darling.
Hello, darling.
I don't know why every time I come on this podcast, I want to put a British accent. I don't know what it is.
I don't know, but it really just does. We go there, like, just naturally. It just happens. Hello. My kid actually did that to me today.
Did she?
Yeah, I turned around. I don't remember what the hell we were doing. We went to Target and did the curbside drop off or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I turned around to her and she was like, "Oh, hello."
Your kid is Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's the big Obi-Wan Kenobi line.
That's what it is. That's all.
Hello.
I mean.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It's hello there.
Hello there.
Yeah. Hello there.
God.
I'm
children.
Such a nerd and also single. Anywho. Tell me something good. How about you tell me something good? What happened to you this week, girl? I mean, something mediocre?
Okay, so I'll tell you something funny.
Okay.
That happened tonight.
I'll take it.
It ended well, which is why it's funny.
Okay. Oh, is this where you wanted my reaction?
Uh-huh.
I'm so excited.
So my daughter...
And listener, we can see each other.
We can.
We're distance.
Mm-hmm.
We're distance
but we are
recording.
Zoomed together, so we can see each other.
Yeah, because I miss her face.
So
she can see me.
I'm going to retire as a phone sex operator. That is my goal at this juncture in my life.
I think you should. I mean, I hate my voice, but I love your voice. It's so the timbre of your voice is just. It's nice.
I can turn it on when I need to. That's what she said. Okay, so the thing that happened tonight, our daughter has figured out. She's known for a while how to lock doors.
Uh-huh.
Now, part of our house is old, and so not all the doors lock, which is perfect, actually, in many ways. The bathroom door is not one of them. It locks, and it's one of the simple ones that, you just twist the little thingy. And she thinks that's funny. And so she has learned how to lock it and has learned how to lock it, while she's inside and we are outside, which we don't love because the bathroom is just a place where so many terrible things can happen to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that she could get into. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, we have, child-proof thingies and whatever, but, at her age, we forget to do it, whatever. Don't judge us. We're not terrible parents.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free zone. That is true. This is a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
Tonight, she went into...
This is getting good.
Tonight, she locked the bathroom door, but shut it, and there was no one in there. So we were all locked out of the bathroom.
Oh, no!
And we were like, how are we going to get this open? And this is right before bedtime, right? So
But this is your only bathroom. You have one upstairs.
We have one upstairs.
Yeah.
But we don't
use the one. It can't be locked for the rest of
it can't be locked for
it can't just be
we actually don't
can't
use...
be Ed Gein's mother's bedroom.
Right. I mean, and the bathroom, this is, I'm talking about the one downstairs, the one upstairs shares a wall with her bedroom. And so we don't like to use that one after she's asleep because, like...
Right, it'll wake her up.
You fucking wake up a kid and you'll want to die. Like, you just... It'll be awful. So we kind of, like, needed the bathroom to, like, be functional for after she goes to bed.
Right.
So my husband is trying... Like, we used to actually have... Because this had happened one time before when a friend of ours was visiting with her son, who was probably, like, around this age when he was here. And he locked himself in the bathroom. And so, like, we quickly, like, found this little tool and we're, like, kind of trying to figure out how to get it undone. But then he unlocked it and it was fine. But we have, like, kept this little tool handy just in case. Well, we couldn't find the tool. Well, so now, like, the two of us are, like, ripping apart, like, anything in the vicinity of where we thought the tool was supposed to be.
And she's just standing there, like, laughing hysterically as... Oh, that look on your face.
It was actually really sweet. She did apologize. And I was like, it's okay, honey. Like, you know, we'll figure it out. Please don't do this again.
please don't do this again.
Please don't do it again. But so we're like trying to figure this out. And I start Googling, how do you like pick a lock, like the specific, this kind of lock, you know, like the one that has like the little hole in
I know a locksmith. So do you.
I know. But, like, how do we get this fucking door open?
Yeah.
Guess what? Tonight, a kid on YouTube taught us, and I mean a kid. Like, this
13?
kid is 10.
Oh, jeez!
This kid is young. He taught us to successfully pick a lock with a bobby pin.
I am scared. I'm scared, guys.
I'm scared, but also
I'm pressed.
want to... Yeah, yes.
Impressed.
And want to maybe test our skills on that, like a little bit, right?
Oh, I think you should do some sort of like challenge. I think you should do some challenge where you have like somebody has a what are those called? Straight jacket on and it's Houdini, and so you're above a tank with sharks in it, and so-and-so's got to pick a lock, and you got to get out of it. Oh,
maybe this will be our TikTok challenge that we were just talking about.
Show us your best Houdini skills.
Give us your best Houdini skills.
Yeah.
Pick a lock with a bobby pin the fastest, and you win an autographed copy of this book.
I love your child.
I do too.
She might be a female Stewie Griffin.
To be honest, I'm a little afraid she's going to be like a stunt woman because that girl has no fear. None. Fear.
She wants to rule the world, and I kind of love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Tell me something good about your week. Now that you know, I will send you the YouTube link.
Yeah, please do.
I will. It will come in handy. I'm actually going to post it in a mom's group. Because, like, you just know that there are toddlers across the world.
You tell me these stories, and I just look over at my dog, and I'm like, this seems just about legit. I like you.
Yeah.
You don't have opposable thumbs. Works.
Nope. She will also be limited in her ability to talk back to you.
Oh, she still does.
Has she ever said, I don't care about you? Because
oh, shit.
Yeah.
I just did that. Oh, shit. No, and I can't wait till... She won't be 14. Well, she might. Let's still pray that she stays to be 14. But she can be 14-year-old girl, like, emo being like, I don't love you. You're not,
Oh, yeah, I'm fully prepared for one day. My kid is going to run up the stairs as she's screaming, I hate you. And then, slams the door in my face.
You ruined my life.
Yeah. And that's what wine is for.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell me something good about your week.
So... Yesterday, I had the worst day in my job that I've not been in for very long, over a year. That's a very short amount of time. And one of the worst days since I've been there. And I'm also, but in my job, I'm also helping with our play, the theater department's play, because I work at a school. And the kids are just amazing, and they're sweet. And one sent me this email because she was having a bad day, and it just warmed the cockles. It was cockle warming. Like, it warmed the cockles of my heart.
Warm the cockles of your heart.
And I sent it to you, like, and I sent the part where she said, and it was like, because of you, I like to do theater, and you're patient. And I was like, do you fucking know me? I ain't fucking patient. No, I am. When it comes to the kids, I am. Because I'm one of those ones. I'm the cool mom of the group. Like, I did say today,
cool
I'm like,
mom.
I'm like, I don't give a shit what these kids think about me. I'm like, part of me does. Part of me still does. I want to be the cool one that everyone likes. Because I'm not a teacher. So, but you know what's really funny? I do think, and I've said this before, and I've talked to other people about it, like people who are more like conservative than I am. I'm not getting political. This is what I'm going to say is, I sometimes am so happy about this generation coming up because they are so much more accepting than any generation before them.
Yeah.
Like, gender is not a thing for them. Homosexuality, LGBTQ issues are not a thing. Like, I mean, they're a thing, but they're not a thing. Like, they're not
a big deal. They don't like.
No.
Yeah.
Like, we have a kid on the announcements who's very outwardly gay, and you're expecting when he gets on there to have the backlash of like kids making fun of him in class. You're just like, no, it's that kid. You know, they're really super cool with it. And you're like,
I love that.
Yeah, it's like that is just not.
It makes me so happy.
It does not register. It does not register as something as bad or, queerphobic or anything. And so things like that make me happy. Like, I'm like,
yeah.
Parts of me are like, we are leaving this world better than when we found it. So,
I hope so. That's always the goal, right?
Well, and it's really funny when I had worked in the Montessori world before too. And that's one thing you learn is you always want to leave your environment better than when you found it. In the classroom, in life. So that's my bright spot. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I love my kids. They're good. They make me happy.
Oh, thank God,
And you love your kid, I would assume.
Oh, of course. She's hysterical.
She is really funny.
She is a really funny kid.
She looks like you. Like, I could use like Control C, Control V. Ha! Control V! Yes!
That's perfect.
I'm S. Scooby from now on. Control V.
Control V. She really is like an amazing kid. She is a lot like me, in ways that like you just know are going to be a struggle because like when you are raising someone who has the same level of sass as you, it's just like
it's that Control V. It's that Control C and Control V.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And like, thank God she gets enough from my husband that it's not like exactly me, but oh shit, I can't wait to like help her harness her sass and use it for good. Like,
use her superpower for good and not evil. Yeah,
exactly. Like I'm fully aware and understand that that people like me and her are sometimes a lot to handle. But I also know that when you take that attitude and that rage, I guess, that like internal fury, I think, like you can use those powers for good, and you can
rage. I think it's conviction. I think is more of, because for you it's not like you're not being a bitch. It's just
I'm not trying to. I'm sure I am. I'm sure there are some people who are like, oh my God, that woman, just shut her the fuck up.
No.
And to those people, I say, fuck you.
Well, there you go. It's you're trying to fight for the dignities of the world. So it's not like it's not.
That's true.
It's not. It's something more conscientious than
trying to make the world a better place. Right.
Yeah.
Trying to make the world a better place in the ways that I can from my corner of the world.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with. I think we all need to, and I think we're coming around as a culture as to say, as like, It's okay for a woman to have an opinion and to stand out and say, I'm not a bitch. I just have these thoughts and these beliefs, and I'm going to let you know what they are.
Who was it? I think it was Tina Fey who said a woman who or maybe it was actually Sheryl Sandberg. I forget. I read a quote at one point that said, I want every woman who is told that she is bossy instead to be told she has leadership skills.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, like, a man is not told he's bossy.
No.
But
He's
women
got power. He's got power and vision and blah, blah,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah.
He's a good leader. He's a strong leader.
You need to throw white in there. White man.
That's true.
White man.
That's true.
Because it's never, it's never, if it's an African American, they're angry.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Yep.
And women, they're bossy. They're angry. They're emotional.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Sure, y'all.
You know what? Actually, I think, as much as it's like, we should move on. But like, you know what? Actually, this actually blends really well into our book.
You know what? It actually does. It does.
So, do you want to do the intro or the summary, or do you want?
Yeah, I can do that. So we were lucky enough to be chosen to get an ARC, which is an advanced reader copy of a novel that is coming out very soon. I'm trying to think of it comes out April 1st. So based upon what day it is for us, there's like a month left. But on April 1st, this amazing novel called Adulting by Liz Talley is coming out. And so we were lucky enough to be able to score an advanced reader copy so that we could discuss it ahead of time. And let me tell you, I loved this book on many levels. But we'll start off with I'll read the description as per the publisher. Okay. USA Today bestselling author Liz Talley's emotional and heart-lifting novel about facing the past, unconditional love, and a woman on the verge of a breakthrough. After another all-night bender, one more failed stint at rehab, and a parole violation, self-destructive actress Chase London has to deal with her demons. She's been written off as a Hollywood casualty by almost everyone, including her own mother. But handsome superstar Spencer Rome has her back. So does an uncompromising stranger determined to start Chase at square one and help her pull her future into focus, if Chase is willing. Life coach Olivia Han is devoted to, quote, adulting, boot camp therapy. It's not just her professional specialty, though. It's also one way to avoid focusing on building a life of her own. Excuse me. To escape the pressures of Tinseltown, the two women head to Olivia's cabins in the wilds of Northern California. There, they discover a place in need of some TLC. As they work together to rehab the once charming cabin, they create a refuge where Chase can come to terms with her unsettled past and where Olivia has an unexpected reckoning with her own troubling history. For two women doing damage control, this is a time for second chances. In life, in finding love, in forgiving family, and in an emerging friendship that might be exactly what each of them needs to heal.
And I'm trying to think if I would add anything in there that we would need to make the discussion.
Well, I guess we could talk about what the program entails. So what happens is, as the synopsis says, Chase is an actress. She's 25, I believe.
25, yeah.
She has been to rehab. She was a child actor. Probably
she's had sporadic roles since 13, I think, was she won the Golden Globe at 13.
Yeah, she won a Golden Globe. She but as many child actors have encountered, especially women, it's a really long road to hoe, full of people who are fully willing to take advantage of you and exploit you for anything and everything. And
even your own mother in some case.
Even your own mother. And so Chase has, as it said, been to rehab a couple times. She abuses drugs and alcohol.
And sex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so she ends up violating her parole, and someone turns her in.
Yeah.
And then she ends up, this director who wants to hire her for an upcoming movie that he's going to work on ends up getting her into Olivia Han's like life coaching
Square
world.
One.
It's literally called Square One. And it's probably it seemed to me that Liz did like really great research on this because I feel like this probably exists.
I've heard of like something similar before.
Yeah, like it's a program where they get someone clean. It almost in some ways reminds me of there used to be this show called The Cleaner, which was based on a true story of a man who used to be or was and is an addict himself, and then he would detox musicians and celebrities and then help them like get back on their feet. So what Olivia Han does is that she helps detox them. She has a team of people that work with her. She helps detox them, gets them living a healthy life, and then once they are like fully detoxed, then she starts an adulting program with them where they have to, it seems like it makes so much sense, where you help addicts reintegrate into their lives and help them learn how to do things on their own, which helps build their confidence, which is a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, in that like once they start feeling like, oh, I can do this simple thing, I can make this decision and I can do it well and I can learn how to do this thing and I can do it for myself and I can be independent, then they get more confident that they can keep moving in their recovery and remain sober and become more responsible adults, basically.
And the program works really well for Hollywood people because some of the things that are asked of Chase, you and I could do, but not necessarily someone who's from a baby asked. They don't really have to lift a finger and learn how to be in the real world. So it was definitely one of those things. It definitely fitted for Hollywood elite.
Yeah, like the things that she had to do, I think the first one is like grocery shopping.
Oh, that broke my heart.
Oh, I know. It was awful. But like she had not, aside from, she even says, you know, aside from picking up snacks or something, like she doesn't go grocery shopping. She doesn't have to. She doesn't have to pay her own bills. She doesn't do her own laundry. She doesn't clean her house. You know, I mean, none of those things because people do it for her. But it has been set up for people to do it for her since she was a kid. Like she's never done it. And it's not her fault. That just is how she was raised.
Because her mother is her manager.
Right.
And where we're finding her in the book, she doesn't even call her mother like mom.
No, she calls her Lorna.
The manager part has taken over. Like that is the authority figure in her life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think of what. Do you want to do compliment sandwich?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, why don't you start off, lady?
Okay, so as the synopsis infers, they end up going to, they finish her detox in Malibu in Chase's home. And then they go to a cabin in Northern California, almost all the way to Oregon. And it's actually Olivia's grandfather's house. She inherited this house from her grandparents when her grandfather died. And she hasn't been there in years, but she used to go there in the summers all the time with her sisters. She had two sisters. One has since passed away, but the other one is still living. And Olivia would have been the middle child. Mm-hmm. So she goes up to this cabin thinking like, you know, we'll do the rest of Chase's program here. And, you know, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with this cabin because I don't know if we're going to sell it or whatever. It has been left to her and her sister, her older sister, whose name we assume is Nev, like Nev Campbell.
Yeah.
Because it's spelled Neve. So, at any rate, they get up there and the cabin is like a complete disaster.
I was like falling apart. Like raccoons like coming out of like woodwork. Well,
and actually, there's like a feral cat. Like,
beast
living in the kitchen, beast. So at any rate, my top bun is actually the relationships between Nev and Chase and Olivia. Because in my own personal life experiences, we have talked about on the show, like, you know, you carry your life experiences with you, and that shapes your view of everything that you do from then on. Well, for me, the female relationships in my life have been some of the most meaningful, the most fulfilling, and the most important in my life. I mean, the women in my life have saved my life. Like, they have been so critical at multiple junctures in my life that I love reading stories about other women having similar experiences like that, because I really,
it's
as much
relatable.
as yes, and as much as people like bitch about girls being catty and whatnot, sure, that happens, but I also think that the majority of women are just like, I want to support other women and I want to like help lift people up as opposed to rip them down, because that happens enough in life. We don't need to get it from other women also, you know?
Can I tell you, so I worked at an all-girls school, and as much as everyone
and I went to an all-girls school.
You did, that's right. And I'm going to tell you right now, yes, there still were, you know, like, you know, whatever, the trials and tribulations of being a teenager. However, those girls were a whole hell of a lot stronger together than they were at most, you know, intersex schools. Because you take out the male equation, and they don't give a shit about what they look like. They don't give a shit about what they're wearing. What they're caring about is each other and their studies. And there's something to be said for that. You take out the male equation, or you take the male out of the equation, I should say, and you have, who the fuck cares what they think, you know?
Right. Well, and you have like, that's a very much, it's very much like how it was in my high school. It was a very small school. I think there were only 42 girls in my class, like my graduating class. So even though we still had like cliques and whatnot, everyone was nice to each other. Everyone was like relatively accepting of one another. And I completely understand that's like a bit of utopia in many ways, but even in my adult life, I still talk to a few of the girls I went to high school with. I'm still very good friends with at least one of them. And so to have like, to be able, I also found that in college, and I still have very close friends from college, and I found that with you in my adult life, like post-college. I met you after, you know, like once we were working in the real world.
That's the place, too, is you usually find that solidarity is in the workforce.
Yeah, absolutely. So to me, watching this, like, I don't have any siblings. I am a lone wolf in that regard. So I don't have, like, a sister or even a brother to be like... to understand that family dynamic between Olivia and her sister, but I can certainly imagine it and see why things are the way that they are between the two of them. And I loved watching them piece their relationship back together. That was just like, that was awesome to me. And then you watch this friendship form between Chase and Olivia. And actually I'll read one. I hope I saved that quote. Hang on. When they're going up to, I may not have saved it. When they're going up to the cabin, they stop for burgers.
Yeah. And
Chase is trying to get Olivia to like just talk to her. And it's not understanding the dynamic between a therapist and or life coach and a patient. Like, Olivia can't tell her too many details about her life. She has to remain a person that is separate from neutral. Chase, who's very neutral. But they are going to be staying together in this cabin, and Olivia needs her to trust her and open up a little bit. And so when they're driving, Chase is like, well, can we just please, like, talk or something? Let's play 20 questions.
Truth or Dare.
It turns into Truth or Dare.
Yeah.
And Chase dares Olivia when they stop for burgers to do the Meg Ryan orgasm scene.
Yeah.
Which you don't get to see.
No, which I actually liked because I was like, I don't need to see that. It's fine.
I feel like it was better.
Yeah, because
how you found out about it, because then you talk about it afterward. Like once they have gotten to the cabin and they like realize what a dilapidated mess it is.
Oh.
But you end up. Hang on. Oh, it says, so they get there, they're talking to like their neighbor, Zeke, who turns into a bigger portion of the story because he knew Olivia from kids or whatever. But they get there, they're talking about like how Chase is like, we can't stay in this house. Like this is a dilapidated mess. To not stay here.
There's no hotel either.
There's no hotel. Yeah, no, none of that. And so
there's a Hotel 7. There's a Hotel 7.
That comes into play later. But Zeke is like, you can stay at my place, and Olivia turns him down. She's like, no, we're not staying at your house. Like this, we're staying in the cabin. Everything's gonna be fine.
And Zeke was friends with Olivia's
deceased sister. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Marley. Her name's Marley, which I fucking love the name Marley.
Yes, I love that name. So she says, because they were playing Truth or Dare, mind you, Olivia crossed her arms. You owe me a dare. So Chase, I dare you to stay in this cabin with me overnight. Chase, we're not playing that game anymore. Who said, if I remember correctly, you said dare, and I got distracted by our arrival at Fog Hats. But if you remember, I did my dare. Chase says, and scarred half the restaurant. That poor man tried to do the Heimlich on you. Not to mention, you're really bad at faking orgasms. And it's funny because the both of them admit in the car that they have faked orgasms. And Chase says that she has faked like every time.
Which makes me laugh because I think to myself, do guys know that? This is where we need to ask your husband.
I have talked to my husband about this actually because like it comes up on TikTok.
Yeah.
See what? So I have asked, and his response was like, well, I mean, there are certain ways that you do know, and if you don't, you're just not paying attention.
Right. There should be a feeling.
There, exactly.
Yep.
So I suppose there are times when they would not realize it, but also the way that Chase lives her life, it's probably most of the time like they're out of it. Yeah, like there's been a lot of drugs and alcohol involved, and
we enter with Chase waking up pretty much like
from a one night stand after being completely loaded on. I think she says she snorted coke or something like that.
They did reels of coke, mm-hmm. And she took a pill. I want to say it might be ecstasy at some point. Somebody gave her a pill.
So anyway, that's my point, is that like the way that their relationships grow and change and shift into new things, and how each woman ends up showing up for each other in some way, shape, or form. And even like Chase and Nev form, because Nev shows up at one point because she's like, well, I own the cabin too,
Yeah.
So seeing them like form better relationships and learn how to navigate these new set of circumstances together, I love it. I love it so much.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What's your top one?
So I was a little nervous when we started this book because I do like women's fiction, but it's a very vast departure from where we've been. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, and it's not to say I don't care for women's fiction. I mean, women's fiction with light on romance. Like, I think you and I talked about it. Like, I love Garden Spells, which to me is the book that Practical Magic is written on. I mean, like, written about. It is so good.
Which is a story about sisters, really.
Right.
In the end.
It is. And honestly, I've read Practical Magic, and it's not good. I actually think I don't care for it that much. It has nothing, like the book, it's like, where did you get this? I mean, honestly, Garden Spells to me is closer to the fucking movie than the real book. practical magic. But so I like women's fiction, but it's never been my forte because I'm like, where's the romance? So I was a little nervous, but going into this, it was a joy. It was a delight, as I like to say. It was a delight. It was it went fast. That was the other thing I liked too.
Yeah, it did.
It was very enjoyable. It wasn't like, then there's things that happen in it where you're like, whoa. But they're not dwelled on.
Yeah.
To where you feel like
there's some heavy stuff in there.
There's heavy stuff, but it doesn't bring you down to a point where you're like, holy fuck, do I want to go on with this? Like, and like you said, the relationships are what are key to this book. And it really does. It does. The relationships lift up that sad, because it is heavy material. I mean, she's going through rehab.
Yeah.
So that's my pro is the narrative in general is so very much empowering, where you feel good when, because I said before, I'm like, I didn't so much care for Chase at the beginning, but you're not supposed to like Chase at the beginning, because her turn is so fulfilling that by the end you love her so much that you just want the best for her.
Yep.
So that's my pro.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you just think spoiled brat when you start.
Yeah,
and
of
by
course.
the end, you're like, you are a completed adult. You are well-rounded. You are an adult. Adulting. You are a complete adult.
Who has like really grown as a person. I mean, truly experienced. I've talked about this before. I love a character arc. I love watching a character grow as the book progresses. And really, Chase at the beginning is night and fucking day.
Oh, 100%.
She's so different, which was so nice to see, because you want the best for her, and you want her to recognize that the things that she's doing in her life are self-destructive, and that she can improve her life. She has the means and the ability and the tools in order to improve her life. She just has to make the decision to do it.
So, like we were talking about the grocery trip, the grocery store trip. Something happens at the grocery store where it's like, I would have been pissed off. I wouldn't be in her same place. Like it was ridiculous. It was like, we're all going through a pepperoni roll right now. So what happens, I see on a regular basis with people who don't take what we're going through right now seriously. That's almost like I could equate what happens to her with what happens, what you see on Twitter, like people that post videos of people being assholes in grocery stores, and it's like it's the usual. And how she handles it is actually, I give her props, because at first she really does try to ignore what's happening and be like, whatever, dude. And then by the end she's like, you're just being fucking rude, man. Right. And I felt for her. That's when I started feeling for her. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this guy's a dickhead, and like he's just being an asshole because he's a man.
He's just being a dick to be a dick. Why are men?
God. Why are men? And the assistant manager or whatever at the store comes over, and of course is a man and sides with the man, and it could have been a woman in hindsight, but I think for the narrative it needed to be a man.
And I think, wasn't the cashier a woman?
She was, and she was on Chase's side.
Right, because then she started to feel bad. Like, then she started to realize, like, I think at first she was kind of annoyed, but then she was like, oh, like, this is... Yeah. Because Chase says at one point, like, I've never done this before. Like, I'm learning how to do this.
She won her over with that. I think that's when the
I think that the woman, the cashier was like, oh, okay. Like, okay, we'll just figure this out, you know?
Because that's when the guy behind her brings up that she's a celebrity. And that's the other issue,
and there's
too.
a tabloid like behind her. Yes. Like they discover this tabloid with like this completely false headline that you have actually about Spencer, that you actually kind of know about, because like you've seen that scene unfolds in real time. Like you really are there, how it really happens, and then you see this headline that's like, Spencer tells Chase London go to rehab or get out, and she's
because they're
like,
supposed to be together and they're not.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everyone assumes that they're together, but they're not. They're just really good friends.
Which, by the by, it sounds like they hadn't seen each other in a long time. Because as she's mentioned, like, she doesn't call him because he's not a party guy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Spencer,
Yeah.
Heart,
Oh,
Spencer.
God, I love Spencer.
Yeah. Spencer and Zeke are hearts. They got hearts.
Yes.
Do you
They're
have any
both,
cons?
like, amazing. I don't, it's not that something I didn't like about the book. Eventually it kind of, like, turned into something that I did like about it. So I'll just kind of go into this. First of all,
I wonder if it's the same thing I'm going to say.
it might be.
Okay.
So I think one thing that I was not expecting that, like, kind of shot me hard. I do think that there should be a trigger warning on this
Agreed.
book because there is sexual abuse should be the trigger warning, but specifically it's sexual abuse of a minor.
Yep.
And it's when I found out about it, like, I read a lot before bed, as probably a lot of people do. And I found out about it, and I was so fucking furious about it that I had to keep reading because I needed that to not be the last thing in my brain before I went to bed, because it sort of happens, like, near the end of a chapter, and then I was like, well, I have to fucking keep going because I cannot have that be the last thing that I read before I go to bed. But then, like, of course, I then went on a rant to my husband about it, during which I complained that shitty people needed to stop having children because you're doing irreparable damage to people. And he was like, well,
those are the ones that usually have like 20 kids.
Right. But he was like, the problem there, honey, is that I think that shitty people don't know they're shitty people. And so they, like,
he's 100% correct on that one.
Right. Like, they're not self-aware enough to realize that they're shitty people and that they should stop having children or just not have any at all. So then I went on that rant, and I also many times said, why are men? But the thing is, like, so the thing is, trigger warnings are not a deal breaker for me, but I want to know about them ahead of time because I want to mentally prepare myself for the fact that there's going to be something in there that could potentially trigger me or upset me or whatever. And especially, I've told a few people this, since becoming a parent, I feel every emotion harder. Every single emotion, whether I'm angry or I'm sad or I'm happy, every emotion is elevated for me. And so I can't watch, like, Law and Order SVU anymore because because just I cannot handle a story in which something terrible happens to a child. I cannot fucking handle it. It, like, makes me cry and sends me into a blind fucking rage that someone would have done something so heinous to a child, which happens. I mean, you don't see it happen, but, like, it's told that it happens in this book. Yeah. And so I'm not saying that I loved the book. I loved it. And I do think that knowing about this thing that happens is critical to it's critical to Chase's recovery.
Right.
I think it's important, like, that thing needed to be addressed. Otherwise, Chase would have never really moved past and through her recovery.
Right.
And become a functioning adult. I think that was so important. I don't think that it was gratuitously thrown in. I don't think that it was at all, like...
No.
It's important.
It's not dwelled on.
No, it's not. It's not dwelled upon. It's not told, like, in great detail, although Chase kind of goes into some things which just, like, again, threw me into a blind rage.
But they weren't gratuitous. Like, we did not... It was mentioned, and it was mentioned again in a little bit more detail, but not great detail later.
No, but, I mean, enough that you fully recognize...
You got the idea.
You got the idea. As a parent, it made me physically ill. I mean, I was, like, nauseous reading it.
Yeah. I think it's the idea that someone could do that to someone else. Someone's child. Yeah.
Yeah. And innocent. I mean, she was like 13. Yeah.
It was around the time she won her Golden Globe. Oh, God. I've ruined it. Well, I mean, not spoil. I mean,
no, that's not really a spoiler.
Because it's honestly in the, third chapter?
It happens like before, at the beginning. Like Chase really, it happens before they get to the cabin. It's actually when Spencer has shown up because Olivia, so Chase is in rehab. Olivia goes to pick her up from rehab. Yeah. And Chase is like, I'm not fucking dealing with this. And like literally runs away.
And it's actually the first time where she's like, maybe I trust this person. Yeah. Maybe I should listen to her. Because she does, I'm going to go ahead and spoil this, but she admits that she had been abused.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And Chase immediately says, like, I have never admitted that. She doesn't say this out loud, but in her like internal monologue, she's like, I have never told anyone that. Literally no one. I've never told a single soul about that. And it disturbed even her mother. And it disturbed Chase that she said this to like a stranger. Mm-hmm. And in her mind, she was like, I wonder if she recognized that the fact that she felt comfortable enough with Olivia to say that to her made her realize that maybe she should follow through with this program.
Yeah.
With this woman, even though this woman drove her crazy and she didn't like her. She somehow, for whatever reason, felt like compelled to tell her this and like kind of blurted it out.
Yeah.
And Olivia was like, you just dropped a nuclear bomb on me. Like, which is how it felt when I was reading it. I was like,
exactly, as the reader, I'm like, holy
shit. I mean, I was like, oh my God. I mean, which is the part I was reading like before bed. But so to that end, Ray and I talked a little bit about this earlier today because it's very much in the news and the Me Too movement has happened and like Harvey Weinstein is still very much, there are so many lawsuits still in play and I haven't seen any of it. He will die
before all of them are.
Oh yeah.
Which good. Go to hell.
Right. Well, in many of them, he can't actually be held accountable for because too much time has passed.
Yeah.
But, which is also bullshit, by the way. But also, I haven't seen any of it, but I know like the Woody Allen Farrow,
Allen versus Farrow, yeah.
Allen versus Farrow.
I'm waiting
things.
for them all to come out. Then I'm going to binge them. Because I started watching it and I was like, but I want to watch them all together because I don't want cliffhangers on a documentary. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, no, thank you. But like, it's so pertinent, like the way that Hollywood can.
I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to say this is my con, is Hollywood's. I don't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
But I just want to say
I'll keep going, but please finish. Say what you want to say.
Is Hollywood's? It's just the Hollywood culture and Hollywood's how they can chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah, especially young girls.
Proceed. Yeah.
I mean, like, think about
young
Britney
people
Spears.
in general.
Like,
yeah, and just young men, too. I mean, RDJ and Jason Bateman and, like, a lot of them.
Yeah, think even about, like, Dustin Diamond, who just died.
Yeah.
You know, like, his experience was Saved by the Bell and addiction and, like, how...
And we talk about Edward Furlong. I mean, what was the guy? Jonathan Brandis? I mean, he killed himself. I mean, there's... half the people from Silver Spoons, I mean, are all dead. I mean,
the way that like Hollywood is so indiscriminate with who they're willing, like everyone is so disposable.
Yeah, it's a perfect word. It's disgusting, but it's the perfect word. Disposable. Yeah. Like they're a spoon or something. A utensil or something utilitarian where you just throw it away.
Well, because there are so many other, and I'm sure that actors are told this, there are so many other people who would literally hobble you in order to get the role that you have. You know, so like...
Right. It's like what you and I were talking about, or you were talking about earlier about, it's like women's empowerment and, you know, and supporting one another. And when you think about Hollywood, it's like, that's not it. That ain't it. It's like,
no, and maybe the individual actresses can be like that, but like...
It doesn't happen.
But like,
I mean, you get pairs. You get people who can write together, like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
Oh my God.
People
are they doing the Golden Globes? Because I would watch that.
They
opening.
are doing the, yeah.
Okay,
Although
I'll watch
I'm
that
a little
part.
sad that Ricky's not doing it just because I love Ricky, but he says, fuck no, I'm not fucking never fucking doing it again. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I think we knew that last year.
Because he burnt Hollywood to the ground and said, fuck you.
He just lit that match.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go
Shucked
make
it to the ground.
I'm going to make some shit that I don't care if you watch or not. I'm watching it.
Same.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
But there's pairs. You have pairs of women who, or not even pairs, but you have like Mindy Kaling. I know I'm not a big fan of Mindy Kaling, but she's she's doing fine. She's doing fine.
Yeah.
Like
she's very successful.
She's very successful, and she doesn't give a fuck. I mean,
I do want to see her new show on Netflix. I don't remember what it's called. It's
it's the one about her life.
I think. Well, she's like an executive producer. I forget. Yeah, but anyway,
yeah, it's about like her growing up. Yeah, it's fine. But you have to get to that point,
right?
And there's so many women who haven't got to that point.
Well, and women are also very disposable. Like once they hit certain milestones in their age. So
we mean 35 and older? Is it gone?
I was going to say like
70?
25. You know, like they hit a certain age, and then it's like, oh well, now you have to play everyone's mom. Yep. If like in D-list movies, and then when you're older, maybe we'll let you play grandma.
Right.
I mean, there are very few. Like Meryl Streep is still very, like obviously prolific, and who like Helen Mirren. Like there are some who have made it. Right. But them getting to that point, I mean, there are so very few of them. Whereas there are tons of like older male actors that are.
Oh, think about Diane Lane. She did what was that? That where she cheated on her husband. Oh shoot. Oh, something. It's not Irresistible. I can't think of the name of it. But she was having an affair with a younger man, and it was so big. It was a big thing, and I'm like, fucking men do this all the fucking time.
Men do this literally all the time.
Literally all the time. And she was in her 40s. It was a big thing because he was. I was like, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? Seriously? Because ridiculous. You're 40, you don't have a libido anymore?
What, you're just dead or something? Like women over 40 are just dead?
That's what Hollywood does. I mean, that's what they, So it's pretty much between 15 and 25, enjoy it. Because after 25, fuck off.
Right. I mean, which is so frustrating. And I know that, like, Chase kind of not directly, but talks about how, like Spencer was able to stay out of like the party mentality of Hollywood, but like she was expected to do the parties and like socialize and be, like the socialite. Yeah,
she's gonna be the fashion icon.
Right.
The men are forgiven. I mean, think about big celebrities. Like, I love Seth Rogen, but he ain't wearing Versace and people critiquing what he's wearing.
Right.
He can wear a baseball cap and whatever to a premiere, and no one's gonna say a fucking thing.
Right.
But oh my God, if
but Billie Eilish wore like a freaking tank top and a pair of shorts, and then everybody lost their freaking minds talking about how she was too fat. And I'm like, she is an extraordinarily talented 18-year-old woman.
She's a child. She's a fucking child.
You leave her alone.
Well, there's just pictures I just saw today. It came up on Twitter. Katy Perry walking the newborn baby with a stroller, and people are critiquing her because she had what she had on. I'm like, this is a fucking newborn baby mom.
Fuck off.
Go fuck yourself. I mean, one thing I have to say about pandemic has been another thing I have to say about this new generation is they don't fucking care about celebrities as much as millennials have.
Maybe that's okay.
And I think that's completely fine.
Maybe that's all right.
I love movies as much as, and I love theater as much as the next person. But you aren't a neuroscience person. You're not like fixing someone's heart. Right. So it's gonna be okay. They're Kardashians, who do nothing. I you might like them. That's fine. Whatever, people. But I'm not a fan because I don't think they do anything, and they make millions of dollars for doing nothing. But there are if we can get to a point in this culture where we're like, you know what, I'm going to put my backing into somebody who's a talented writer, a talented musician, a talented scientist, a talented,
Right.
chemist, I'd be more excited. A talented, somebody like RGB, come on.
Yeah.
Bill
Nye.
RBG. So, you know what? Exactly.
Show me some Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I want some Greta Thunberg up in this biatch.
Word.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, that's
So
my
anyhow,
con.
yeah,
Fuck,
and
fuck Hollywood.
right, fuck Hollywood.
but I love Marvel.
But, word. But I will say, so even though that was all in there and horrifying that this happened to a child, who now has to just carry that burden for the rest of her life, that has to be like such a formative part of her life. I think, like Ray had mentioned, we've kind of been like this sexual assault keeps popping back up in the novels we're reading. Like it just keeps coming up. And so when
It's unsettling.
It is unsettling. And like when I first read that, I was like, God damn it, another one. Like, can I please fucking get through one novel that does not have a woman being sexually abused? Just one. But then, like, once I was done being angry about it, I literally had to have my husband, like, I was like, I need you to just say words that conjure nice images in my mind. And he literally was like, okay, puppies, kittens, rainbows, our daughter. And like, I literally just repeated those words in my mind until I fell asleep. Yeah. So like, the thing is, after I thought about it more, art imitates life. We know that. Yeah. And as we've discussed before on the show, more than the 1 in 4 statistic or 1 in 5 statistic is actually true. It's more like maybe 3 in 5 or 4 in 5 women who were actually assaulted. It's just that we don't report it or we don't talk about it because it's horribly scarring and people blame you and say insensitive shit. But like, the thing is, for it to continue to appear in novels, especially romance novels, which that genre tends to shy away from violence against women, I think it's important that we include it if it's relevant.
Agreed.
Because I think that it helps us control that narrative. I think it helps us take it back and kind of turn the tables and show, like, yes, this thing happened to us, but for me, it's so critical and important for women to see you are not alone. This has not just happened to you at all. It happens to many women. Yep. There's no reason for you to feel shame from this. You can deal with this, process it, move on with your life, and find a decent partner who would never treat you that poorly, and who will, even if it's not giving you a happily ever after, but like, not all men are like that. You can find a good one. For hetero people anyway. But, to me, it's so important that women see the progression of, this is a shitty thing that happened to me. I can deal with it. I can choose to allow myself to heal. I can choose to process that in whatever way is best for you. And then I can still have a happy life. I can still find good things in my life and come out on top. I still have worth. I can still be productive. I can still do things that are important to me. Maybe it takes years, maybe it takes weeks, however long it takes. Maybe it's decades, and who cares? I want women to know that it's okay, that they take the time they need, and that healing is possible, that it's entirely possible and probable for you to deal with that shit and recognize that it wasn't your fault. You didn't fucking do anything wrong. And come out on the other side of it. Give me a traumatized heroine who is working through their shit because I want women to know that it's okay and that they can move on.
Right.
And that it's still, it might be a part of your story, but it doesn't have to be a big part. It can be, it can be a thing that happened to you that changed you, but it doesn't have to be a thing that destroys you.
Well, so, and I'm equating this to something, and I don't know if you could tell me if I'm wrong or not. So I have a friend who says, he's gay, and he says, being gay is not what defines me. I'm this and this and this, and I'm also gay. Mm-hmm. So for people who have been assaulted, it shouldn't be I'm assaulted and I'm this and this and this. It should be I'm this and this. I've had this happen to me and this and this. So I think it should, like you said, it shouldn't be what defines you. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it being something that you learn from. No, say you grow from. I should say learn, because you did nothing wrong, so there's nothing for you to learn. Right. But as a characteristic that you grow from. Like, I really, to me, for this novel in particular, it's good that she's going through, we see her therapy. Because there's so many, in one book in particular that we were talking about, that we don't see the therapy. So you're left with, well, here's this horrific thing that I've just been saddled with. Oh, there's no resolution to it? Fantastic.
Right.
So this is just what happened. This is gratuitous. To me, that's more gratuitous than it is, building the character up to have it to be, something that happens to the person and they've grown from it.
Yeah. To me, it's you learning that you can still. It affects everyone differently, and that's perfectly fine. There's
absolutely.
Maybe it's not like as life altering. Maybe it doesn't fuck you up like as much as it does someone else. It depends on circumstances. It depends on you.
Exactly.
But like, to me, for Chase, it's like her learning that this was a thing that happened to her that wasn't her fault, that does not have to define her for the rest of her life.
Right.
Her learning that she could still build a life that she loves, that is the happily ever after to me.
Yeah. Well, and also it comes from where you're making a connection with the character too.
Yeah.
Because as like you and I have similar experiences, so we're like we understand things differently.
Yeah.
Somebody who might have a severely traumatic experience might not be able to relate because they don't have that sense of I've worked through things.
Yeah, and like, listen, like we said, judgment-free zone. No one here is asking you to deal with trauma that you're not ready to deal with. You deal with that on your own timetable.
But there should be a trigger warning.
Yes, but I do think that there should be some sort of trigger warning that's like, FYI, this is in the book, and you should know ahead of time. This, a book that I just finished, which was so, so good, by Greer Rivers. I should look at that so that I don't screw up her name. But anyway, this book that I just finished, there are so many trigger warnings on it, and I was glad for it, but it also like went kind of beyond what I thought it was going to be. Her name is Greer Rivers. It's Escaping Conviction. But it went beyond what I thought it would. And it was hard. I mean, it was difficult for me to get through some parts. But I think including the trigger warning to me is not a deal breaker. I'm not going to pick up a book because there's a trigger warning on it.
Be there.
Yes, I just want to know. I just want to know that it's there so that I don't like get to that point and I'm like, oh motherfucking shit. Like now.
Like the other book that we're talking about.
Yes, the other one that we're talking about. Not adulting. There's a separate book.
Adulting's fine. Yeah. No, this other book, it's in the first fucking chapter, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me?
Like,
what the fuck is this shit?
This is how you fucking open this. Like,
cool.
please.
Cool,
Great,
guys.
Thanks,
cool.
Thanks. Perfect.
Awesome. I mean,
so,
nothing like, being being a victim and having to relive it. It's cool. Don't worry about it. No,
yes,
no worries.
yes.
No worries. Okay.
I mean, because I do think that we are all at like different stages of healing.
Yeah.
And so I think that letting people decide, like, this might be a thing I'm ready for, this might not be a thing I'm ready for.
Right.
And maybe I need to call my therapist tomorrow.
Oh, no. Is this toxic? What?
Is this toxic? What? I did call my therapist, you guys. I did make it a not because of this book, but it did remind me because therapy is a central theme in the book. Like, I was like,
right.
I really haven't seen my therapist in a long time. And when I called, it was like, I don't think I've been there in a while. The receptionist was like, it was November. And I was like, fuck.
It's been many years for me, but it's fine.
Been a while. Well, I usually see her every few weeks. So
I mean, it depends on where you're at. It depends on where you're at, too.
Yes, it does depend on where you're at. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so I've been pretty regular. It's my new favorite. So I've been pretty regular, but it's just been like holidays and things.
Yeah.
We were like, let's launch a podcast.
Right?
We've been busy. Anyway, so it's a con, but it's not like, it's not at all a criticism of like the story by any means. It's just that I wanted a trigger warning, and in the end, I think that what happens to her is integral to the story.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
It
not just
doesn't
throw it in there for shits and giggles.
Correct. It doesn't end there, but I'm not going to. I don't want to ruin that. How that comes back into play later. So anyway, that's it. I don't think that we should shy away from that being a thing that happens to women in novels, especially even romance novels, because it happens to so many women.
It does.
That I don't think you can fucking ignore it as a thing that just like.
No. Well, and I sent you an article and was talking about the in crime novels, and that happens in crime novels quite a bit, like romance crime novels, which I do like. I enjoy those, like romantic crime novels, but things happens. It's usually rape and like vice stories usually are relate to a sexual assault, and they're just kind of like thrown to the wayside. Like, she was also, sexually assaulted, then murdered. I'm like, oh, fantastic. Great.
Perfect. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
So she suffered before she was murdered. Great.
Perfect.
Awesome. And they're trying to kind of rein that in a little bit, which I give them complete credit for, because we don't need it. I mean, we really don't need it there.
I think it's great that there are plenty of novels that do not include it. Yeah. Because again, not everyone wants to read that. Not everyone wants to relive their trauma every fucking time they open a book. But like, I also don't think that it should be ignored. I think that the more we talk about it and we control that narrative, the more we can flip it around and help women process and heal, and also show men like, hey, that's not fucking okay. Like, these are all of the things that you have been taught implicitly throughout your whole life that are actually really fucked up.
Right.
Anyway, Liz Talley, I think.
I mean, none of this is like, the book is great. This is more.
The book is fantastic.
Just in general, like with sexual assault in romance novels and also Hollywood. Mm-hmm. I mean,
I don't think it should be overlooked. I don't think that it should be swept under the rug. I just think there should be a trigger warning on it. That's all.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to another bottom bun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So, as a person who has...
as a person,
as
period.
a human, period. As a person who has spent... God, how old am I? 35? As a person who has spent literally half of my life in therapy, I loved watching both Olivia and Chase learn how to set healthy boundaries with people. And then also realizing, like, sometimes a boundary that used to work doesn't work anymore, and so you have to, like, make adjustments there. I don't want to give away any of those boundaries because that starts to give away part of the story.
Yeah.
But boundaries come into play with basically everyone. Olivia, being a therapist, is pretty good already at setting boundaries, but because the relationships shift and change, especially the one with her sister, with Nev, like, she has to learn how to set boundaries with Nev. She has to learn how to set boundaries with Conrad, because that relationship starts to change.
You know what? Let's pause and talk a little bit about Conrad and a little bit about Nev.
We haven't done that. Yeah,
because we're going to bring him with stunt casting. We should probably talk about him.
We should. You're right.
Let's do Conrad first.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk or want me to talk?
You go for it. I've been talking a lot.
You're fine. So Conrad is a friend of Olivia's from high school. And he's a director. He's wanting Chase for his new movie. And so it's his impetus is to get Olivia into
she has to be insured.
Yeah, she has to be insured, exactly. So, like, some people are insured, like, certain people are insured for certain body parts. Same thing with, you have to be insured, pretty much, stuntmen need to be really insured in Hollywood. And because she is a flight risk and an addict.
Recovering addict, has been to rehab multiple times.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't even talking about recovering. I mean, she's still an addict at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I assume, like...
Full blown.
I mean, some people say, like, once an addict, always an addict. So, like...
It's true.
I guess it depends on what you how you phrase it. But she is still, like, she's been to rehab so many times at this point.
She knows how the game works.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Conrad's like, no, you're going to work with my buddy Olivia. So we know that he and Olivia are friends from high school. And he was very much in love with her sister Marley, who died.
Yes.
So, and also Olivia's in love with Conrad.
Yeah.
And
has been. Like,
yeah, and told him that she was in love with him. And so it didn't work out. So you got that. So he's in the mix as a possible suitor to Olivia. And then you have Nev, who is her older sister, who is...
Nev is 40.
Yeah, she's 40. She's taking care of their mother, who is kind of like she's a gambling addict.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
can't work because she has, like, severe rheumatoid arthritis. And,
right. And their father is in prison, is out of prison.
He's out of prison now, but he served a sentence.
Yeah, for molesting a child. More than one child, I believe.
He was he was a principal of the high school she went to.
Yeah. And so Olivia she was a witness for the prosecution for her father. So the family hates Olivia because of this.
Was she a witness? She believes the girls.
She was a witness. She went and she went on the stand for,
because she's a therapist. So, like, she knows, she can see.
She talked to the one girl.
Right.
They do talk about that. So, because she did talk to the one accuser.
And this has, like, torn her family apart.
Yeah,
because
she has no relationship with her sister and mother. She gives them money.
Right.
Like because Nev is pretty much like one step away from being homeless. At one point, they think that she said she slept in people's cars at some point. I thought.
I don't remember that part, but that doesn't mean it's not part of it. But Nev lives with their mother and takes care of her and has difficulty holding down a job. And
I could be
and is divorced, which is, I mean, fine, but like Nev has not made the greatest decisions.
No, she's a hairdresser and she has no job right now. Like her job is taking care of the mom and pretty much living off of what Olivia sends to them. Right. So those are the two. Sorry, that's I wanted to like kind of give some insight because we will be talking about them.
That's important. And then also Zeke, because he lives next door to them, he also knew Olivia from like living in the from her and her family like visiting the area, and then of course Marley is the younger sister, and she was gorgeous. Like gorgeous. And Zeke had a thing for her too. You know, it's like Marley is kind of like everyone had a thing for Marley.
And Marley, he was just like she was Chase.
Yeah. There are a lot of parallels between Marley and Chase, and that's discussed on many occasions between Olivia and Conrad, because Olivia is like, you see Marley when you look at Chase and you want to help her, and that's why. And fair. I mean, really fair.
Oh,
like Olivia
fair.
sees it too. I mean, it's not like that's a silly thing. Like there are a lot of legitimate parallels between the two of them.
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to derail, but I thought we should add those
No,
three
but that's fair.
Yeah.
So anyway, my bottom bun is watching these women learn how to set healthy boundaries for themselves in shifting relationships. Chase has to learn how to set new boundaries with her mother. It's just, I really enjoyed seeing these two women figure out how to deal with their mental health with other people. Because if anything I've learned during my 16 years of therapy is that people will set boundaries for you if you do not set them yourself. And something that Brene Brown says is that some of the healthiest people she knows are also the most boundaried. That they know what is acceptable to them, and they stick to that in their relationships with other people. Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of truth in that statement.
Agreed.
What's your bottom bun? You got one?
Spencer.
Yes, Spencer. God, I love Spencer so much.
So at first I didn't like Spencer. I was like, fuck you, Spencer. Because I was imagining somebody like, what's Fergie's husband's name?
Oh, is Josh Duhamel? Is that who she's married to?
I was imagining him, and I was like, fuck you, Josh Duhamel, because he cheated on her. And as much as I don't like her very much, I mean, she's fine, but he seems like a douchebag. And so I was like, oh, that's what he sounds like. And then the more you read about him, and he comes into play later in the book, like pretty late into the novel, he is just amazing.
He's so sweet.
He's so sweet and cute and just what you want. Like, because, I mean, funny enough, he ain't there for Chase. Let's just say that. He's not there for Chase.
I mean, he is, but he's not.
He loves Chase. He loves Chase as his little sister.
Yes.
Esque.
They really do have like a brother-sister relationship where, and I did love that at the beginning when he appears and he is telling Chase, like, you should probably stick with this Olivia woman.
Well, also when she finds that phone that hasn't been working and there's the one text that's there is from him, it's like, where are you? How are you doing? Like, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And, you start to love Spencer a little bit. Yeah. And
as you should. He really seems like should.
And his
lovely.
For what, like, the shit that kind of he gets put through, quote unquote, because it's not like trials and tribulations. It's not like, he's walking through glass. But some of the things you're like, just come on, he's hot. Let's just go for it.
It's fine. He's
throw a leg over it. Yeah. Throw a leg over it. Come on.
It's fine.
So my bottom one is Spencer because he's so cute.
Yeah, and there's not a lot we can talk about there, but like without giving things away. But man, Spencer is awesome. Like Spencer is awesome.
Spencer and Zeke. I'm going to say Zeke is my other one too because Zeke he's such a good grounding force for Chase.
Yes, because
like he's very much like I want you to be healthy.
Yeah. He's not, he's the absolute opposite of every single person she knows in Hollywood with the exception of Spencer.
Yeah, exactly.
He wants what's best for her. And he respects the boundaries that she puts in place. Which was a big deal in and of itself. Yes, like the fact that she set boundaries with him and was like, I mean, it's not like cannot possibly come as that much of a surprise, but like you have a beautiful woman and like a super hot lumberjack basically, and like they're going to spend some time together. Like you can kind of assume that maybe there's going to be something there.
Yeah.
And she is like, I am barely sober.
Right.
And I can't, if any addiction like program you go through, like I think AA even says this, like you should be single for at least 1 year.
Isn't it, was it 28 days where they have to take care of a plant first before you can get into a relationship?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have to be able to take care of a plant, and then I think the next step is like a pet. If you can take care of a plant, then you can get a pet, and then you can be in a relationship.
Which I'm going to say, the pet probably should be third, because I'm going to tell you right now.
Yeah, there's a couple steps between like a plant and a pet, unless the pet is like a fish.
Yeah, like, because the pet is a baby.
Right. I mean, like...
Yeah.
And there's a progression to the pets. There's like, dog is at the top.
Yeah, because at some point the pet takes care of itself.
Right. Well, and like a cat is not the same as owning a dog.
No.
So like,
no, the cat's like, fuck you all. I'm
yeah, the cat is like,
world.
I am actually your owner, human.
Right.
And like the dog is
human.
like,
oh,
right.
human.
Oh, human.
Human.
But yeah, so like, Chase sets her boundaries with Zeke, and I loved that. And then he, like a decent human being, respected them.
Well, because he also kind of went through the same issues that she, not assault and everything,
and not addiction, but like he dramatically changed his life because he didn't like what he was becoming.
What it was. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because, and he didn't like that he was a part of it.
He was becoming jaded.
Mm-hmm. And so he was like, I like living a simple life. I want to live
There's something
in this.
He said for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was like, I want to live in this little town and try to improve my community and seek quiet and not make the world a worse place like I used to.
I have a question for you, now that you said that. Is there something to be said for, I noticed now that I think about it, because I'm going back through some of the Kristen Higgins books that I've read and Jill Chavez. Is there something to be said for
a hot lumberjack?
Well, yeah, maybe.
Sorry.
Yes. Yep. Is there something to be said for fucking beards and muscles?
Holla.
And giant cocks. Anyhow, no, is there a part of the romance, even maybe it's not romance, maybe it's just like in general, that we kind of gravitate towards these small town existences? Because you think about like all of these romance novels have these, like Penny Reed's the same way. Green Valley is a small town.
Yeah, it's a little town.
They're all little towns where it's the utopian society of these little towns. Mm-hmm. And is there something to be said for that? I mean, in romance novels in particular.
I mean, I think that there is something to be said for seeking a simpler life, especially in the 21st century when we're so connected technologically with everyone, where everyone can technically be in our business if we want them to be. Mm-hmm. And people form opinions on your life based on what you put on social media, whether or not that is accurate of your life or not. Mm-hmm. I think there's something to be said for taking pleasure in and finding joy in the simple, small things in life. Like last week, I had a Zoom call with a friend of mine who lives in a different state that I haven't seen her in a long time. We live literally 1,000 miles apart, but we went to college together and shared a wall, so like getting to talk to her for a couple hours via Zoom, even while I literally just like set my laptop on the floor and was like knitting pieces of a baby blanket together, not for myself, not pregnant, everybody, but like for someone else.
Thanks.
But I was like doing that, and she's just like, doing her thing in her house, and little things like that starting a fucking book club podcast with one of my besties. You know, there's like little things in life that I think help ground us back to who we are. And I think that that's where like that small town mentality and like the small town trope comes from. Yeah. I think that's why it's so popular. I think that's why we love it so much.
Could be. You're right. You're probably right.
Yeah. Maybe.
Anyhow.
All right. You want to take a little brief break?
Do you want to do quotes first before we do that?
Oh, sure. So let me get a couple quotes.
You were the quote master.
Well, okay. So we had, because we were given a digital copy of the ARC. So I have like screenshots of it.
And I didn't. I mean, there was things I liked, but I didn't take them down.
That's okay. So, that's all right.
You have quotes for me.
I do have quotes for you. I don't want to read that one. There are some really funny moments in this book. Mm-hmm. One of which was like that orgasm discussion.
Yeah.
But there are some, you're dealing with like heavy topics. You're dealing with personal growth. Excuse me. And development through character arcs and whatnot. So there are some very like poignant moments in this book that I think are really lovely. And one of them, so this is about halfway through the book. It's one of Chase's chapters. It's written in the third person, but is from like Chase's perspective and then Olivia's perspective. It goes back and forth. So this is one of Chase's chapters. She and Olivia are driving back to the cabin from doing something earlier in the day. She says, the cabin appeared in the break, the shutter still hanging loose, the swing still drunk on its uneven chains. But the rocking chairs were new, and the screen door was repaired. The place looked how Chase felt, a little off, a little neglected, but better every day. I loved that.
I mean, I have to say the writing was fantastic in this book.
Oh, yeah. The writing is wonderful. Talley did an amazing job. The writing, I would read other things from her.
I mean, I felt that. I literally felt that. I'm like, that is exactly where she's at. Exactly. I mean, just part of it's a little off kilter, but most of it has been starting to be repaired. Oh.
Kind of like we said, I think in the last episode, we said, like, we're 50% okay. You know? Like,
yeah.
We're not awesome, but we're not terrible either.
Right.
We're kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
And then there is part of Chase's recovery is that part of adulting is like oftentimes Olivia will try and get her clients on like some sort of committee to like help plan a thing and then the event happens. So in
ownership.
Yes, so they're taking some ownership, some responsibility for a thing. So in this case, Olivia and Chase are both on this committee for like the fair, basically, like a festival for the weekend, which I
wanted to go to so bad.
Oh,
also,
absolutely.
Because it's around other people, and I want to be around people.
We want to like eat funnel cakes and like see other people.
Yeah, I want to be at an Irish festival really bad.
Oh God, you and I used to go to the Irish festival every single year. I wonder if we can do that this year. We'll have to see.
They canceled it last year. Yeah,
I assumed.
You know what? I'm moving on St. Patrick's Day. Anyhow.
I'm
gonna offer green beer to my movers. What?
Oh, you should. I wonder if they could have like a little bit at the end. So, at any rate, they're working on this committee, and Chase is a celebrity. Like, people recognize her. It's also a thing that Olivia is just like, when they enter a new situation, when they see Zeke for the first time, he's like, okay, let's just get this out in the air. This is Chase London. She is a client of mine. Like, we are staying here. We'd appreciate some discretion.
Done and done.
Just get it out in the open. Move on with your day. Yes, she is who you think she is. Okay. So she goes on to this, into this committee, and the women are like,
bitches.
They're not nice to her.
They're Karens. A bunch of Karens. I'm sorry. I love Karens. I love Karens, but they're Karens.
But they're not very nice to her.
No.
They are like pretty much flat out rude and disrespectful to her. They don't think very much of her. They treat her like you'd expect someone to treat someone who they believe is beneath them, you know.
Which, sidebar, okay, so everyone loves California. I like California a lot. I love San Francisco. I love San Diego. Love them. There's a lot of California that is full of hillbillies. And I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, you could be a hillbilly. I don't care. That's fine. As long as you don't hate other people, I'm cool with that.
And this is a small town.
This is a small town. I have a feeling that this is part of that California, like, say what?
Yeah.
Because there are parts of California that you're like, because it's a big state.
It's huge.
It's a huge state. And I've been in parts of California that I'm like, I don't feel comfortable.
Sure.
As a very progressive person, I don't feel very comfortable.
Sure. I mean, California, while it's looked at like this,
they have the
liberal,
death penalty.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like every other state where there are some, like, it's a diverse state. There are lots of people there, and
they have a lot of religious people. They have a lot of, I mean, it is. So this was surprising, but not.
But not. So she's on this committee, and this woman is like, she's being mean to Chase.
And very, like,
in a pointed way.
Yeah, and very stereotypical about anybody who's has addictive tendencies. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this woman is criticizing her, basically saying, like, children watched you do the things that you have done.
Which I agree with, to a point.
Sure, but I loved Chase's response, which is the thing that I'm going to read, because it's something, like, to me, this is not an angle that I think about. It's easy for someone to be like, yeah, but children are watching you. You're a role model. You need to get your shit together. But, like, from the addict's point of view and knowing what you know about Chase, I loved hearing this from Chase. A, she's standing up for herself, and B, she is, like, low-key being like, fuck you. Like, you don't get to judge me for what I've been through, and I see where you're coming from, but you don't know me. You don't know what I have been through.
Right.
That got me to this point.
This woman's an asshole, but at the same time, what Chase is doing is perpetuating.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean,
Anyhow,
yeah, of course.
But yeah.
So, this woman says, so what were you thinking when you did those things? And she says, I was thinking about forgetting all the bullshit in my life. Your kids never entered my mind.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. I just wanted to feel good, but I've learned that I can't escape my emotions or my feelings by numbing myself. I guess what I'm saying is, you never know what someone is going through, so why not give them the benefit of the doubt? Those people who are running the tilt-a-whirl might need to, I don't know, not call the cops on them. Sometimes asking people to stop what they're doing works. And the discussion that they're having at that time is like, I guess in the past, like this town is irritated with, like, the people who run the carnival or whatever, like smoking pot, like. Yeah. And she's basically saying, like, can you just maybe ask them to not do it where children can see them? Like, ask them to do it. Instead of fucking calling the cops on these people, like, maybe just ask them to not do it where children can watch them do it. And maybe that's enough.
Which is interesting. I wonder what it's obviously, it's supposed to be set today, right?
Yeah, I think, like, in modern times. Yeah.
Which is legal in California.
It's legal in California, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, at the same time, like, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But the fact is, don't be an asshole. I mean, that's what
Don't be an asshole.
Hashtag don't be an asshole.
Right, exactly.
I mean, and I get where she's coming from, too. It's like, yeah, but you are a role model. But at the same time, like, I didn't ask to be a role model.
Right. I mean, and Chase was not, like, she grew up in this. This is, like, she did not, it's a discussion that she and her mom have at one point.
Well, it also goes back to, our talk about Hollywood in general.
Right.
How to choose you up and spit you out.
I enjoyed, also, there's this funny, I know how to fold a fitted sheet. I'm just going to say that. Too. I know how to fold a fitted sheet. I will teach anyone how to fold a fitted sheet. So
that's why there's a TikTok about, like, I saw somebody folding a towel the other day. I was like, what?
There's like a TikTok that's, like, all about folding. There's like
it's full of towel where it's actually like this big. Like you can't see me. I'm sorry. It's just a visual.
What?
It's yeah. I'm gonna try to find it. I was actually gonna sick you on it because you're the TikTok queen.
Never fucking find the TikToks again. That's
No. It's lost to the ether.
Lost to the ether. So anyway, Chase is obviously learning how to adult. She says Chase hadn't learned how to fold a fitted sheet. Apparently sorcery was involved, so she tossed the sheets in the dryer to get the wrinkles out. That was how sane people did it.
Yep.
Anyway, okay, one final one. So Chase obviously has feelings for Zeke that she talks about that. You get to the fair weekend and Zeke comes up to her. She's working like the ticket booth. So Zeke comes up to her and he's like, are you ready to go? Like, do you want to go around and look at stuff? And she's like, I can't. I'm waiting for someone to relieve me. And so she looks at the list and she like says the name of the person. Zeke's eyes widened. What? Chase asked, sensing his emerging panic. Nothing. She's just a girl I dated last year. Chase didn't like the weird reaction in her gut. She hated Annalisa, abhorred her. Who wouldn't pour water on her if she were on fire? I laughed my ass off when I read that.
I thought to myself, same girl.
Same girl. Same. I mean, it's funny. Oh,
and then when you meet her and you're like, fucking same, capital S-A-M-E.
You are indeed a bitch.
Yeah,
she's are awful.
Fucking bitch.
She's mean. I mean, she is mean. But there was like one more at this is very much toward the end, when some shit is starting to go down. Olivia is looking for something. And she is describing what she's seeing. She says, a chick lit book laid on the bedside table.
Yes!
It's like, hell yes, queen. Name drop.
Yay.
Anyway, those are...
I love it.
This book is full of great stuff. But,
yeah, and I
those
apologize. I don't have any, but...
That's okay. I literally took screenshots and then was like, I hope I don't get in trouble for this.
I would assume we're going to be in the clear on that one.
I assume so.
Do you want to do stunt casting before we break?
Let's do it after the break.
All right, let's
do a quick break. Brief moment.
We'll be back in 2 and 2, baby.
Hello.
Oh, we're back.
God, I love your face.
I love your face, too. I miss your face, even though, like, we text all the time, but I miss your face.
I know. I miss your face. I am going to hug the shit out of you one day.
I know. When we can, not socially distance.
I know. You're like halfway to being vaccinated, but I am nowhere near fucking close because I'm just not in the age bracket and the profession that is going to get me there. No one in my house is, so.
Anywho.
So let's talk about stunt
casting. So if you don't know what stunt casting is where we pick, not you. You don't get to pick. You can pick in your own mind.
You can pick on start your own Pinterest board.
Fuck yeah. You know what? Start your own podcast or your own Pinterest board and share it with us, please.
Yeah, please do. Oh my God. Yes.
Because we will share ours with you. And then, but we figure out celebrities or actors that we think would fit the role if we were to like make it into a movie. So, Madame, would you like to tell me your? let's go back and forth by character. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do
Olivia first. Who's your Olivia?
Okay, my Olivia is a woman named Allison Brie. Do you know who that is?
It's fucking Captain America, isn't it? No, wait, that's Allison Brie, is it? Yes.
No. That's
Captain Marvel, isn't it?
Her name is Brie Larson.
Oh, that's Brie Larson. Damn it. Okay. No, but I like Allison Brie though. Yes, I like her a lot.
So Olivia is described as having like light brown hair.
Yes.
She's pretty, but like also is not, she doesn't think she's pretty, but like even at one point Chase is like, "You're pretty. What's wrong with you?" Like, of course you're pretty.
She comes in the middle of a conversation. She's like, "Hello, yeah."
She's like, "Duh, you're pretty." Like, I don't understand why you don't think you're pretty. So at any rate, I feel like Alison Brie to me is like, she's pretty, but like in a way that
a normal pretty.
Like a normal pretty, yeah. Like she's not some like unattainable amount of gorgeous. Oh, she was in Promising Young Woman. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I heard that's gonna be like on the Oscar list.
It fucking better be. I'm very excited to see it, and also I'm just gonna like steel my nerves.
It's a horror movie. You be ready for that?
And then tell my triggers to shut the fuck up for 2 hours so that I can like.
It's a revenge movie. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm all right with that.
Have you ever seen? Okay,
we'll talk about it later. Yeah, diversion. Okay, so anyway, yes, that's who I have for Olivia.
So my Olivia, I have Natalie Portman.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, in the same thing, I love Natalie Portman. I don't think she's like totes gorge, but she's beautiful. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like she's not like unattainable, and she's also down to earth. I think that's what I like about her too. Like she could possibly. What was that horrible movie she was in? Garden State. I mean, it's fine.
With Zach Braff, mm-hmm.
Where she plays possibly a mentally handicapped person.
Anytime I think about that movie, I think about how his mom was paralyzed because she tripped over an open dishwasher.
Oh God, that's right.
Every single time my dishwasher is open, I think about that. Every fucking time. I'm so scarred by it.
Well, Natalie Portman plays a person who has to wear a helmet all the time.
God, that movie was weird.
That movie's awful, but I liked it for some weird. I was also like 20 years old, so I liked it. Anyhow,
Natalie Portman is also like
baller.
Not aging.
No, she's like Paul Rudd, just aging backwards.
Oh my God, why is Paul Rudd so hot?
I don't know. We're gonna find out that he's immortal. He's playing a Dracula too.
Probably.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
He's a Dracula.
Everything's fine.
But that's my Olivia.
I like
can see like I want to like talk to her about problems in my life.
Yeah, I could see that.
So who is your Conrad?
So tonight
that's ominous. Tonight.
So we may have, the two of us, Ray and I, discovered the thing is we did our stunt casting but right together, before this. Unusual, we kind of did it together, but like we don't know who the other person chose. We did it like on our own and giggled together and sent each other photos of people that we didn't choose. Anyway, both of us sort of discovered like an affinity for Turkish men.
Hell to the yes.
Like, I don't know. Both of us were just like, what is happening with the Turkish men?
Where are they hiding these men?
Are they all in Turkey or there's some here? Like, I mean, I don't know. So this guy, this person is actually not Turkish. This person, so Conrad is Latin to some degree. His last name is Santos, right?
Yeah, Santos.
So, like, I don't get the impression that he's, like, full-blooded Latin, but, like, is at least in part. Like, maybe his dad is Latin or something.
I mean, we don't know anything about his family or anything like that.
No, yeah, you don't learn any of that. So, at any rate, I chose someone named Damian Bashir. I don't know who this person is.
Oh, that name sounds familiar. I'm looking him up right now.
I have never seen him before. But he's it. It's spelled DEMIAM.
Oh, I found him. He's 57 years old.
Who cares? He's fine.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll throw a leg over it. I don't care.
Leg over it.
Holy God.
I told you, man.
Oh, this one picture of him and I would assume his wife. I was like, okay, whatever. But
just crop her out. It's fine.
Yeah, she looks like she's going to eat me.
No disrespect to Damien's wife. I'm sure you're lovely.
Oh, she's
She's a wonderful person.
She doesn't look very lovely. In this picture, she looks like she fucking knows who she is. I mean, you know what? Fucking do it, girl. You
More
do
power
it.
to you. Look at your husband.
I'm sending you the picture that I'm looking at.
Please do.
Is this who you're talking about? Oh,
Wait,
Hateful Eight?
Oh, hang on.
Oh, he was in the Hateful Eight?
Maybe? Here,
Yeah,
hang on.
he was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Here. Let me send you this.
Oh, God, he was in Midnight Sky with
so attractive.
Adam Driver. He was in fucking Midnight Sky with Adam Driver.
Oh, my God. You fucking love Adam Driver. It's hysterical.
Oh, no. Wait. I'm thinking of, no, not Midnight Sky. Oh, shit. Oh. Midnight Sky's got George Clooney in it, but I mean, oh my God, this guy's gorgeous.
Right. I know, isn't he?
He is pretty. He's very pretty. Yeah, I'm on board, even though he's older
than like Conrad would be. Like Conrad is supposed to be in his mid-30s, but
we're fine. I'm fine with it. It's totally cool.
I don't care. I mean, look at him.
I don't care either. I mean, like, stick a leg over it.
Seriously. I mean, hello. So anyway, That's who I choose for Carlos. Who you got? Or not Carlos, Conrad.
Well, same thing. Now I'm wondering what the hell I was thinking of, like, with Adam Driver, what midnight movie he was in. It's Midnight something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm very distracted by Damien right here.
I mean, I would be too. So for my Conrad, I'm still looking for the Midnight Special. Midnight Special is the one I'm thinking of. So for my Conrad, I'm sticking to Star Wars, I guess, and going with Oscar Isaac.
There you go.
Because he's Latina of some sort. I think he's from Guatemala. I believe that's where he's originally from.
I just looked up his IMDb. Yes, Guatemala.
Yeah. I mean, he's also like in my pocket. I could stick him in my pocket and carry him around, and I'm fine with that. He's unfortunately, I thought he was the same age as me. He's a couple years younger than me, which I was like.
He was born in 79, so he's not like that much younger.
No, he's a year
or that much older. So.
Oh, no, he's a year older. That's
he's a year older, yeah.
Oh, Adam Driver is a couple years younger than me.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Nothing wrong.
No, but he got the salt and pepper look. I love it. He wears a beard well. Mm-hmm. That's all. I'm just going to say that's all. I mean, you like Conrad, and then you don't like Conrad.
Right, yeah. And that's fine. It's a journey.
That's fine. It's a journey that Conrad and yourself have to take. Mm-hmm. So, tell me about Chase.
So, my Chase, this just like is a funny coincidence. But when I was looking up, blonde actresses, basically, is what that came down to, because Chase is described as like beautiful. Obviously, she's blonde. Thin, you assume she's like tall-ish because her legs are described as being long. Mm-hmm. So I chose Lily Reinhardt, who is apparently in Riverdale, although I've never seen that show. Lily is spelled Lili.
I knew that. It's so sad. I knew that.
But the thing is that I didn't know about her is that she's from fucking Cleveland.
I knew the name sounds familiar, and that's what it's from. It's from Riverdale, which I don't, because she was dating Cole Sprouse, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can I tell you how much of
she's beautiful,
a dirty woman, like a dirty old woman, it makes me feel to recognize that Cole Sprouse is an attractive human being. He's a child.
It's the same thing I had. The same issue I had when we talked about Nicholas Hoult. He was the boy from About a Boy. I was like, and the same thing. I'm like, you're the baby from Big Daddy, and 50 packets of ketchup. I'm like, oh God, I can't.
And also, he and his twin played the Ross's son, Ben.
Yep.
on Friends. I know.
Yeah.
And so I look at him and I'm like, why do I think you're attractive? This is fucked up.
I know.
What's the matter with me? Is this how men are? Like, because men are so attracted to, like, younger women?
But you don't want to think, well, we should be able to do, we should be able to do that. If guys can do it, we can do it.
This is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, we've talked on this.
This is why I tell you that you should not feel bad that Harry Styles is attractive.
Oh, God. I do.
I don't know what to tell you.
Oh,
he is attractive.
Okay.
And he wears dresses better than me, so fucking goddamn it.
Dear listener, I have a weird thing. Not weird. It's not weird. It's not weird.
It's not weird.
I love Harry Styles. Like, I love his music.
He's attractive.
And he's fucking attractive. And the tattoos and the fucking dresses. I would fuck him in the dress and out of the dress. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong with it. But in my brain, because I've got a weird brain, and I think we've talked about it before, because I know we did, because we talked about it on, I think, episode 1, where I have things with younger men. I personally can't do it.
No, I can't do it.
That's my own hang-up. That's a hang-up I have. And I don't have an issue with anyone else doing it, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same.
I can find somebody fucking attractive. Like, again, I'd want to stick a leg over, but am I actually going to go through with it? No.
Men my own age are dumb enough. Why would I want to date someone younger than me?
Although, like we said, these kids coming up, these people who are going to be becoming adults, because when does millennials end? When does that?
Oh, I don't think we actually know that yet. The thing about all of those age groups is that there is only one age group that is actually recognized by the Census Bureau, and it's baby boomers. It's people who are born between the years of 19...
Karens and Chads.
People born between 1946 and 1964. That is a designated baby boomer age group. However, like, everything else is created by the media, so...
Okay, so who is your... Okay, so you told me your Chase. My Chase is Elle Fanning. And, yeah, I was going through, I'm like, you know what? Actually, this is perfect because she's lived the life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's lived the life. Because she's the younger sister of a pretty much star who's really not so much a star anymore, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Dakota is not a star. Because, again, Hollywood chewed her up and spit her out.
Chews them up and spits them out. Yep.
And Elle, I loved in Super 8. Did you ever see Super 8?
I don't think I did.
Oh, it's a recommend. It's a big recommend. You don't have to like horror movies to like Super 8 because it's a horror movie, quote unquote, but it's more like along the lines of a Stephen King sort of Goonies, Stand by Me sort of.
Wasn't she? Yeah, she was in Maleficent. Ow, she was in. She was Aurora in Maleficent.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's good. You should see it.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Angelina Jolie fan, but like she's excellent as Maleficent. Probably because she's an evil bitch. But Maleficent really is not like, it's an interesting, I would recommend it, is all I'm saying. It's a great movie. I have not seen the second one. But Elle Fanning plays Aurora, who is Sleeping Beauty.
She's gorgeous. She's blonde. Mm-hmm. She's lived the life.
Yeah, she has.
And she looks close enough to her sister, but enough that it's different. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I was thinking about this yesterday, actually, because I'm finishing up with WandaVision.
Oh, yes.
And I was thinking about Elizabeth Olsen and her sisters.
To me, she's the prettiest Olsen, and I'm sorry. Like, that's a terrible thing to say. They're all beautiful. I think she's younger.
Yeah, I think so, too. Like, she's the more successful.
I think at this point, however, like, she also started a lot later than they did. They
have a dynasty of because of all the movies they made and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's another... Like, she could have easily gone the way of something else.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay, so Mary Kate Olsen, let's look at that, 1986. And Elizabeth Olsen was born in 89.
Okay.
So she's 3 years younger.
Yeah, because we were trying to figure out from WandaVision, like, where they were in the... I don't know if you've watched it or how far you are, but we're trying to figure out where they were in Sokovia when... I was like, well, I think they're in the 90s in the Sokovia. But, yeah. But,
Oh, God, I love the Wanda character, too.
Because it's a fucking strong character.
Yeah.
And this is the first time... Oh, I don't want to ruin it, so I'm not going to say
don't tell me. Because I do... My husband has watched at least maybe half of it, and I've seen enough of it that I want to know. Like, I've got theories about the show. And so
the only thing I'm going to tell you is they've never called her Scarlet Witch. Ever. In any of the movies, any of them, or the episodes. They have not called her Scarlet Witch. We know she's Scarlet Witch. In the all of the Avengers movies, they have her labeled as Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah, I'm literally looking at... Well, so on IMDb it says Wanda Maximoff / Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, but they don't call her that.
Right.
Just keep that in mind.
Okay. All right. Oh, it says Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is upcoming. Okay. All right. Who's left? Ooh, who's your Zeke?
I mean, we've got a couple, don't we? We have Spencer, or we have, no. We
I didn't do Spencer.
You didn't do Spencer?
I don't think I did.
Nev, and Zeke.
Oh, so shit, I didn't do Spencer or Nev. I was too caught up in the dude that I found for Zeke, and literally just everything I thought of after that was blown to smithereens because of the dude that I picked for Zeke. Okay. Tell me who you picked for Zeke.
Well, can I do Spencer first?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Can I do the ones you don't have?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. So Spencer, speaking of Marvel, I have a Sebastian Stan.
Wow, I have just recently figured out how attractive he is.
He's fucking hot. He's fucking hot. And I found a picture of him with a beard. I was like, hello.
I actually credit all of this to TikTok.
Sebastian Stan can get it. And what I like about Sebastian Stan too is that he fucking knows. He knows. Like this, he knows Marvel. He knows he's a meme. He knows all of this shit. And I love it. Also, we were so close to Sebastian Stan. Did I ever tell you the story about Captain America and how it was almost filmed in our place of work? Oh, no. From that look, I haven't.
No. Now, dear listeners, Captain America was partially both, I think, the Winter Soldier and the first one were filmed.
And the first Avengers movie.
Yes, were filmed in part in Cleveland. Yeah.
So we were approached, I'm not going to say where we worked, to film in our building.
They fucking said no?
Hold on. So... Hold on.
God, I hate that place. God, I hate it.
So there was going to be So somebody in the higher offices came, and I'll tell you after we get off the air.
I already know who it is.
Yeah.
Fucking tell me.
Came to my office and was like, how many people do we have in the building on Saturdays? And I was like, we have a lot of fucking people.
A lot of people.
He's like, okay. I said, can I ask why? And he goes, well, because possibly they want to use one of our rooms to be a hospital room for Captain America.
I am forcibly having to stop myself from banging my head on my table.
So you are the only one who will enjoy this. This is the look I had on my face.
Dear listener, she is aghast and is just blinking repeatedly, and her mouth is trying to form words, but nothing's coming out.
I literally said, I'm sorry, I can't compute this right this second.
Are you saying Chris Evans might be in this building?
I said, I'm going to be so close to Chris Evans I could touch him. He goes, well, no, you're not going to be close to Chris Evans. I said, he's going to be close enough that I could touch where he touched. He said, Well, possibly. FYI, never happened. But I know. But
I can't believe I'm not squeezing this wine glass so hard it's not breaking in my hand.
He just looked at me, he goes, you look like, should we do this? I'm like,
Yes!
Yes, we should do this. He goes, I'm a little nervous by your reaction. I said, well, I'm not going to be in the fucking building. It's a Saturday.
You're not going to let me be in the building.
Great. I'm like, but I can still be excited about it. Yeah, so we did not have them in, but they wanted to use one of our rooms. I would assume it's when Fury is in, because it had to be Winter Soldier. So it had to be when Fury's in the hospital. I'm just going to let that sit. But at the same time, Chris Evans went out to Whiskey Island that weekend. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Because that's when we got all the from KYC. Oh, all of these celebrities are out at Puddin' Bay, blah 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 blah.
The rage in my body right now.
I can't believe this is the first you've heard of the story. We're gonna finish this off air. So Sebastian Stan is my Spencer, because I can imagine him and Natalie Portman doing it. What? Okay, I'm just trying to get her back on track. I literally just can't. I just hear breathing. Okay, so let me go on to my Nev. Go
on to Nev. I cannot.
We might have to take a break after this. It's fine.
No, it's fine. Talk about Nev.
For Nev, I was going to pick Nev Campbell, but I was like, you know what? That's too on the nose. So I decided on... Do you know who Holly Marie Combs is?
That name sounds familiar, but I don't know why.
She played Piper on Charmed.
Oh, yes. Yes, I
mean, she's a little older than, probably Nev is, but I think she's cute.
She's great.
And she's pretty, and she's she fits. I think she fits pretty well.
Yeah, I like that. I think that works out well.
So tell me your Zeke, baby.
Oh, my God. Okay, so this is how we discovered that we apparently like Turkish men?
I mean, for fuck's sake.
So I literally Googled lumberjack actors, basically.
Sorry, that made me laugh.
And I ended up finding this photo, and I was like, what the fuck? He is uncomfortably attractive, but not in a way that he could just be a normal person. He's not he's hot, but he's not Hollywood hot, but maybe, I don't know, whatever. So
Model
I said,
hot?
What, honey?
Model hot?
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I sent the photo to Ray because I was like, I can't find this man's name. I don't know.
Oh, that guy. Oh, God, Jesus Christ.
Right, exactly. So I was like, I can't figure out who this person is. And she was like, hang on, let me do some Google voodoo.
Let me pull my catfish shit up.
Let me pull my catfish shit up, and I will figure out who this person is. So she did. He is apparently Turkish and so fucking hot. It's
pretty
uncomfortable. Which I realize may contradict everything I just said about him. But I cannot pronounce his name. Okay? He's on our Pinterest board. He's on our Pinterest board. He is the one wearing a flannel shirt. It's like Kivanik Tatitug, which sounds made up at this point. He is so attractive. So attractive. I don't know how, I literally don't even know how to do. I look at him and all my thoughts scatter. So I can't even look at the photo while I'm talking right now. I am looking away at a fucking plant. across the room from me. He's just really attractive, and he has like a beard, but not like an overgrown beard, and he's tall, and he's wearing a flannel shirt, and he can take me fishing. I don't know what else to say about it.
So we're talking about like Zeke, right?
Yep, talking about Zeke.
Zeke. So I chose this person just because he had a beard. I'm going Chris Evans as
God damn.
America's ass.
Seriously, Chris Evans, like, I
Chris
think...
Evans' beard. That's Chris Evans' beard.
I think the fact that, like, TikTok also loves Chris Evans has made me love Chris Evans more.
America's ass.
Mm-hmm. I think I told you that I saw some TikTok where someone was like, I realized recently that my dentist is Chris Evans' dad.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Because this person went to the dentist and was like, the dentist was like, what did you do this weekend? And the person was like, oh, I saw like Captain America. And the dentist goes, oh, my son's in that movie. And then like later.
No, my son runs that movie.
Right. Like and then like later he was like, oh my God, my dentist's name is Robert Evans. Like,
which is funny because there's a big guy, like he was a producer, he was a piece of crap. His name was Robert Evans.
Oh, probably
Hollywood.
not the same.
No,
Robert
no.
and Evans are probably both like common-ish names. Yeah.
But I mean, that's funny.
Yeah.
So that's my
So
Zeke.
hot. God damn.
It's America's ass. I sent Tim V this TikTok of this person making her own, like, it looked like she's gonna make a Captain America, like the shield on her shirt. It just happened to be Captain America's ass. It just says
That's
America's
all it was.
ass.
It was just like embroidery of Chris Evans' ass.
Yeah.
It said America's ass.
So the other thing that happened this week that I love, and I love that, is that the Loki trailer I showed my mother, who loves fucking Loki. And she was like, he's so very good looking. I'm like, yeah,
He really
look at
is.
America's ass.
Yeah.
I mean, Tommy Hiddles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I love about Tommy Hiddles, the Hiddlestons, is that he has embraced being Loki, and he's like, I almost said Yoki, Loki, and he has, like, he loves the fandom, he loves being Loki. I love that about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
The look on your face, like, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, again, another person I throw a leg over.
Yeah. Hello.
Right. So,
Do we do ratings?
Yeah, because I mean, we're not going to do recommendations. We're going to recommend this book. Both of
Yeah,
us
we just recommend this book. This book is fantastic. It's very well written. It's very thoughtfully written.
Yeah.
Is very respectful of a person who is going through recovery from addiction.
Yeah.
And I honestly cannot. The things that I would like to say about the book, I don't want to say, like, anything that it remains that I've not already said, I don't want to say because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
It's a great book. As I've said, the relationships between the people and the women specifically are really the star of the show. The main focus of the book is Chase's recovery and Olivia's reckoning with her past and her family. Mm-hmm. Romance sort of takes a back seat, but that's not a deal breaker for me. It's, to me, a happily ever after does not always have to mean a romantic relationship between two people. In many ways, having these two women work through some of their shit was more important to me. I think in most ways, I will say. And watching them learn how they can live their lives in a healthy way that serves them and helps them lead happier lives. I think that was more important than wondering what will happen with Chase and Zeke, or like what will happen with Conrad and Olivia. It's just the fact that these women learn more about themselves and live more for themselves is more important to me.
Well, and I know you think you gave it away, but as the romance takes the back seat, as you said, it doesn't matter. Like, I honestly, like, there's not much we could spoil about this book because it is pretty forthright.
Yeah.
And I give it 2 thumbs up. Big
Word.
time.
I would fully recommend this. Do you have some eggplants and hearts ratings?
Well,
as per our podcast.
This one's hard because because the romance does take the back seat. I mean, like, romance, I'm going to say just 2 because it's so quiet.
Yeah.
And eggplants, there's no sex. I mean, like,
no, there's no
it's
sex
referenced.
scenes. It's referenced, but there are no.
No, I'm going to say 1.
Yeah, same. That's what I said.
Yeah.
But again, that's not a deal breaker. I loved this book.
No. I mean, I would tell people about this book just because, like, it made me feel whole a little bit.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, I loved this book. I would recommend it to anyone who is like, who's looking for a good read to make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
And believe that anything you go through, you can heal from. Yeah. Which I think is really important for all of us.
Yeah. And what we do go through is not the end all, like, of us.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the defining thing about our life. It's one part.
I think that's what sold me on this book. It was like, it wasn't the main characteristic of this person. There were so many other parts and pieces that made it, which should be I don't want to see, like, something other authors look at, but other authors should look at this and be like, so this is the defining characteristic of my character.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that is associated. It's not what makes them.
Agreed. Yes, completely.
And then in this instance, like, that might be different from other, but for this instance, it's not what makes the character. No.
Yeah, agreed. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. Like we said, it comes out April 1st. This episode will air on March 30th, so you've got a couple days, but pre-order it or wait till you can get it on paperback, whatever you want. It's really it's a great book, and I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah. Yay! I'm so glad. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be able to read this early and to review it and to share our thoughts about it with the world. It's a great book. I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to read it. Yeah.
So, do you want to give it the social media handles and contact info?
Yes. So, well, first of all, our next book, since our next episode will be airing on April 6th.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Our next book is, we would have said this on the previous episode, but our next book is Beneath the Stands by Emily McIntyre. She has a new book coming out actually on April 6th, which will be the release of our next episode. Mm-hmm. Her new book is called Beneath the Hood, and I'm super fucking excited. Now,
we're also going to have like a contest with that, right?
We are.
But we don't know what it is right now.
We don't at this current moment because it's like a month away, so we don't actually know. But hopefully by the time...
We're going to be really fun.
It should be fun.
Yeah.
It should be fun. I do recommend that you read the first book, Beneath the Stars, before you read Beneath the Stands, but it's not necessary. They could be standalones, but you do learn more about the two characters in the first book.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so social media handles and whatnot. You can find us at our website at www.chicklitbookclubpodcast.com. Our Twitter is at chicklitpodcast. Our TikTok is Chicklit Book Club. Pinterest, where you can see our stunt casting and our Spank Naughty lists, is Chick Lit Book Club Podcast. I'm just practicing for my retirement plan, which is phone sex operator. My mom is like, I never want to talk to you again. You can email us. Please email us and tell us your thoughts about the books that we've chosen or books that you would love to see us read at chicklitbookclubpodcast@gmail.com. And then you can also check us out on YouTube. I'm not reading that entire URL to you because y'all are smart people and you can Google it. And also, of course, if you listen on Apple Podcasts, please rate us and review us.
There's an algorithm and it fucks us. So please rate and review. I mean, if you say 5 and then you give us 5 stars and then give us like bad, it's fine. Just give 5 stars. 5
Just please give us 5 stars and then tell us how much you hate us. That's fine. Yeah, like
that's fine.
We know
I'm
we're
cool
loudmouthed and annoying and like
and dirty. It's fine. It's cool.
And it's a little dirty, but it's also really funny.
You laugh. Come on.
Yeah, come on. We're funny, right? The TikTok that hit me the hardest was the woman who goes, did people have a crush on you in high school, or are you funny now?
I'm fucking
and I was like,
now.
Ow! I mean,
I know, right?
Ow! I have not had a moment's peace since I downloaded that fucking app.
Guess what? Wait till you work where you went to high school.
Ow!
Yeah.
Oh,
it
God.
Sucks. Hole in the heart.
Just
what?
Right in the chest.
Yeah. Like 2-2. Yeah.
Just right in there. God damn.
Well, we love you guys. And,
all right. Yes, we do love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We keep racking up more countries on our list. We still haven't hit Antarctica, but we do have Brazil now. And the Netherlands.
You guys know any polar bears that want to be?
Yeah. Seriously.
Trained.
I actually I know someone who used to work in Antarctica, and if he still did that.
What?
I'll tell you more about that offline. But yes,
Okay.
I do know someone who used to go to Antarctica for work.
I have so many questions. One, why did I just know this now?
It's fine. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Listeners, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We hope you love adulting. Please pre-order by Liz Talley. We love you guys.
Yay.
Happy reading.
Bye.
Bye.